All right, so we're going to open the meeting. It's 6:31. The secretary will be here in a few minutes. Until then, I'll take what notes need to be taken and I can give them to her when she arrives. There's an item on here, item number 2, the moment for personal commitment. The item I wanted to add for those who might want to say the Pledge of Allegiance or some other way to commit themselves to the importance of these meetings. So if anyone does want to lead us in the pledge, now would be the time to do it. After the pledge, if you want to have another moment to yourself to commit yourself to these proceedings, by all means, okay?
Let's do it. There's a flag that way in the other room.
Oh, in the other room. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep. Hi.
Hello, but thanks for that.
Oh, sure. All right, we're going to call a roll. Principal Gershaber. Here. Myself. Alexandra Davila.
Here.
Dean Gorder. Here. Ann Bolu.
Here.
Mary Kay Cobb.
Here.
Margie Betcher.
Here.
Bridget Doherty Trebing. She is
Here.
And Scott Punter.
Here.
Princess Pyle.
Here.
All right.
Yeah, Verona's here.
Sorry. I'm not, why you're not on my list, I apologize. And Maggie. First thing we need to do is to keep in line with the Open Meetings Act, we have to vote to allow our member who's not able to attend in person to attend virtually. I'm going to make a motion to allow Bridget to attend virtually and be entitled to. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got to roll call this. Principal Gershaber.
Aye.
Myself. Yes. Alex.
Yay.
Dean. Ann. Mary Kay.
Yes.
Margie.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Princess. Kathy.
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes.
All right. And the record reflect our secretary has entered the building.
Thank you.
All right, if everyone's had a chance to review the agenda, I'll motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, we'll do a roll. Principal Gershaber.
Aye.
Self, yes. Alex.
Yes.
Dean. Yes. Ann.
Yes.
Mary Kay.
Yes.
RD.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Princess.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes.
All right. If everyone can take a look at the minutes from the previous meeting.
Does anyone need a printed copy?
School. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Please.
Oh. Mr. G, we pass on the secretary's agenda packet. Yeah. Here's a packet.
I'll get it.
You get it? Thank you. And it's very bright.
Does anyone need more time to review the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
All right, Principal Gershaver,
Yes.
Stuff, yes. Alex,
Yay.
Dean. Ann,
Yes.
Mary Kay,
Yes.
Margie,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Princess,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes.
All right. Is there, maybe Bridget, you had mentioned this, is there a staff member that was going to be asking to be on the LSC?
We're going to have an election for the,
For the students?
well, vote for 2 students, but also a staff member who is not a teacher, is in the other union, the SEI union.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's going to be by the next meeting.
all right, was somebody in and then they left, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
left, yeah.
All right, so this, you prefer to have the school kind of do a referendum? Because we have to, the LSC has to.
However you want to do it, Paul, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, is there anyone here now who's interested in being on the LSC? Who's a staff member, not a teacher? Okay. Whatever you guys want to do, whoever wants to join the LSC should discuss and then vote on it. So,
Okay, I'll have her contact. I do
Okay.
have someone interested.
Somebody raised their hand on my, oh, did you see that?
yeah,
I'll try to look at that for you, Paul, if you have to turn your head, so I can see.
yeah, I was just, I can hear it on here. I just haven't done that before. Yeah.
She's a teacher at the school.
I
Okay,
don't know if she has, who the staff member is, I just didn't know that.
okay, we haven't voted to allow virtual participation from anyone other than Bridget.
Right.
So if Jessica, if you're listening, if you can text one of the teachers, then we can talk about trying to address what you'd like to say, but we've got to follow the protocol that we've got set up, and we'll have to try and address it that way.
I like the fact that we're having individual departments talk about themselves.
Is the meat pack?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Thank you. If you don't mind just scrolling through the slides. Thanks.
Thank you. Let me just do it from here.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no, absolutely, whatever you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So my name is Matt Franklino, and I am the department chair for the Individuals and Societies Department. It's my first year as department chair. I'm very happy to be here, so thank you.
Do you want me to, let me know when you want me to?
Yeah, just sure, go ahead, thank you. So I could go on and on about our department because it is an amazing department with many dedicated teachers. But I'll try to keep it brief out of respect for everyone's time here. But I did just want to quickly highlight the leadership team within our department. So we have leaders for each of our teams at the TFA, Rich Nicholas and Ellie Neese. And then here at the varsity campus, Tim Lane, Abby Kozaruk, Andrew Baran. We have rotating leads for our INS senior electives. One thing that's new this year is that we have separated out separate AP government teams because our AP government course has grown exponentially in line with the equal opportunity school that we are pushing students to access higher level courses. So we want to make sure that we have team time dedicated specifically to that course. And then our course sequence is up here. So our freshmen who are in the like diploma track take AP Government and then APUSH and US History sophomore year. And then they take IB/BP History junior and senior year. And then students who are not in the diploma track take World Studies freshman year, US History sophomore year, and then junior year. Many of our students who are not in the diploma track are taking AP US Government and Politics, which is what I teach. And then we have a ton of electives, which we're really proud of. A variety of AP courses, plus courses specifically that delve into like students' own identities, which is something we're proud to like foster here at Taft, including Latin American history and the history of Chicago. We also offer dual credit courses where students are simultaneously enrolled at Wright College. Thank you. All right, this is a lot of text, which is not good practice for a slide, but let's go for it. So we have a lot of goals in our department, and we're constantly working and collaborating on just doing the best we can for our students. But ultimately, our main goal as individuals and societies, we believe is like the most critical subject area for our students. We may be biased. We'll hear from alternate departments soon. But like ultimately, we want to enhance student civic engagement in our communities, in our world that is in line with Taft's mission and vision. And so that's what we do every day. So the skills that we're employing to our students and the experience that we provide, we want to make sure that students are not only successful while so it's a trip that Taft has done in the past, and we're bringing it back. And this is a trip that are not just like tourists, but actually doing the work of government. So, for example, one day students will spend the day with their elected leaders on Capitol Hill and engage in a mock Congress, and also watch congressional hearings take place live. Let's see. So, as a department, we have met a few times over the past month, and we have identified our focus, academic focus for the year, and that's argumentation. So that is completely in line with our goal, or our overarching goal of enhancing civic engagement. We want to empower students to be able to make arguments, evidence-based arguments, which unfortunately are all too rare today in our society. But we want to empower students to make evidence-based arguments, both verbally and in writing. And we also want to empower students to engage in civic discourse civilly, because democracy rests on that skill. We are also constantly enhancing our own knowledge as teachers in this department. And just to highlight a few specific examples, we have book clubs that have already been underway with the World Studies team at the Taft Freshman Academy. And then the AP Government team here is also going to be launching a book club too amongst teachers. And we'll maybe include students too at some point. And then also at the end of this month, we have team leaders and myself going to a conference on civics, law, and government with the Chicago Kent College of Law. And then I just want to highlight too mentorship. That's something that our department, I think, is super strong with, of mentoring each other, but also mentoring a ton of student observers and student teachers from a variety of schools across the city. So we're proud of that mentorship that we provide, and that we also provide to each other too. You go to the next slide. So of course, our work doesn't stop at the end of the school day. And I just wanted to highlight like some, truly, like there are so many more, but these are just some examples of the clubs and teams that we sponsor and coach within members of our department. So, and things that very much align with what our department focus is all about. So student government, Model UN, mock trial, Muslim Student Association, just to name a few. And then you see the teams we coach as well. So that is just to show that we are active in trying to empower our students all day, before school, during school, after school, and hopefully they take those skills with them for the rest of their lives. So that is what we're doing, and we're proud of our work, and it's only possible because we have an amazing department, and we are very supported by our admin, and we are really happy to be able to share that with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello, my name is Juan Salinas. Is it okay if I go now?
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Juan Salinas, this is my 3rd year as AVID coordinator. This is my 16th year working with the AVID program as a teacher. I actually started at Taft before that as a volunteer tutor for the AVID program when I was in college. So really, I've been with the program, I want to say about 19 years or so. The program itself has been here. It's been a part of the Taft community for over 20 years. So I introduced myself, and I want to just quickly introduce the rest of the team. So Seamus McGowan is currently working with our AVID seniors. He has been with the program for 13 years. Sergio Santillan is currently working with our AVID juniors. He has been with the program for 11 years, and he also started as a tutor here at Taft. Rachel Miner is currently working with our sophomore group. This is her 2nd year working with AVID, and then Ryan Gloax is our AVID administrator, and this is his 5th year working with AVID. I'll go to the next slide, please. So there's a short video that we had, and I thought would be perfect just to kind of give a brief overview of the program. And then what I can do after it's okay is just highlight a few of those items that are covered there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Right, so slide there. Yeah, so I just wanted to go over in greater detail a few of the items that were covered there. So student recruitment, what we do since we opened the freshman academy is we visit the school in January, meet with the houses there during their house meetings for student recommendations. So we give an overview for any staff members who might not be familiar with the program. But really we want, at that point, teachers have been working with students for about a semester or so, so they can hopefully identify students that would benefit the most from the program. These are students who are in the academic middle, first generation college students, low income students. students who would excel in a supportive academic community, and students who demonstrate a strong desire to attend college. Once we get those recommendations, we reach out to the students, set up an informational meeting during the school day, and then we follow that up with a short interview where we get to learn a little bit more about the students and they get to learn a little bit more about the program and what we have to offer. Whenever we visit the campus and open up a new class, we usually target 120 students, so about 4 sections or so. And I mentioned it in the video as well, but one of the things that we're also doing is working to get all of the house leads trained at the freshman campus, and that way they're able to share some of their strategies with other staff members, and then eventually that will reach out to other students as well. All right, so just a few highlights throughout the past few years. So our class of 2020, about 100 students. That year we received over $10 million in scholarships offered. We had 2 Posse Scholars. Last year's class was a bit smaller, it was 42 students, but the students still did very well, receiving over $4 million in scholarships offered. We had 2 Webben Scholars and 1 Webster Scholar. And then our current AVID students, which consists of just a bit over 300 students, currently have a 3.5 average GPA, 92% attendance rate. And one thing that I think really helps students get to this level of academic standing is that we require all of our students to take 2 higher level courses by the time they graduate. That's to strengthen their college applications and also to prepare them for the type of academic rigor that they'll encounter in college. So these are just some of the experiences that we offer our students this year. We hope to visit UIC, DePaul University, Northeastern, Loyola, Dominican, University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, North Park, and Camp Duncan. These pictures are here. Here are from last week's senior trip to Camp Duncan. And we do that as a way just to work on the social aspect of the program. And one of the things that we also mentioned was reaching out to the Taft community, not just working with our advocates, making sure that we are making Taft a stronger community and helping as many students as possible. So Rachel Miner is currently working with, or sponsoring the Connect Club, which helps students transition to the varsity campus. So she works with a sophomore group for that. She also works with Mr. Tuggle with the Student Voice Committee, where she has students utilize their voice to help better the school community. We just started College Club. This is a club which targets non-AVID, non-seminar students who might need help with the application process and just the college process in general. Mr. McGowan is currently working with our AVID Leadership Committee. That is where he is providing and creating leadership opportunities for our AVID students. One of the big things that we are currently working with is the senior seminar class. So we currently are working with 600 seniors who are not a part of a special program. So they're not a part of AVID, not a part of IBDP, IBCP, ROTC. And these are students that senior year meet with us once a day as part of a class and get some of the AVID strategies and support that our AVID seniors get during their senior year. And as I mentioned, we are also working with the AVID house leads to have our AVID strategies reach the school-wide community, and a couple other clubs and activities there as well. Rachel Miner also sponsors the roller skating club, and Sergio Santian is currently our head coach of the boys varsity team. So that is a bit about our program. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Ron.
A quick comment.
Yes.
Both of my daughters have been in AVID, and you guys,
Awesome.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
You've taken a lot of stress off my plate, and they seem to everything's just seamless.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. And I'm gonna formally give permission to our department chairs here that if they want to go home and be with their families, they can. You don't need to stick around to the end of the meeting. Thank you for your extra time. I really appreciate
Thank you.
it. But you're
Appreciate it.
welcome to stay if you want to, but please feel free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you. On to reports. Principals reports.
Sure. No student spotlight today. I tried to get a piano player, but they couldn't show up today. I will go over the principal report. It's in actually color. Ms. Braca did a good job. this year. So number one, domain held safety town hall meeting after school to discuss 2022, 2023 safety procedures and policies. That was attended by about 100 teachers. We just wanted to go over some policies and procedures, and just a big kudo out to our teachers. We've asked them not to be security officers, but just to be outside in their hallway right there by their door, welcoming kids into class, starting class on time, taking tardies and stuff like that. So they're really helping us. Number two had a professional development for all 11th and 12th grade teachers on restorative practices in our auditorium. That was requested, I believe, by the PPLC. So we are holding that currently, and I believe it's going to go to the Freshman Academy next month. We had our first fire drill of the year at both campuses. It went well. And we had held our house leads meeting and unit planning during the C-Bell schedule. We mailed first quarter progress reports. Just let everybody know I did some math on those progress reports, and we have 73% of our kids have either A's or B's, okay? And 87% of our kids have A's, B's, or C's. So most of our kids are doing exactly what we want them to do. Freshman on track is 97.1%. I forgot the 0.1, but I'm going to own it at today's mark. So this is the 7th week mark. So freshman on track is doing wonderful. Remember, we spent years here at 87%, and we could never get above that number here. I believe a lot of it has to do with the grading policy and the fact that we have the freshman academy, and they can hone in, and with the house system, they can really target the kids that are struggling. Taft Instructional Leadership Team, the ILT, met with district discussing instructional adjustments which will result in higher student outcomes. We hosted an instructional walk with Network 14 representatives, and we visited 10 classes with Dr. Lamone and people from the 14th network. Climate and culture, we hosted a homecoming game at the varsity campus. It was well received. I think we sold out in 45 seconds on that one. We had the homecoming dance at the Rosemont Convention Center. By all accounts, it was unbelievable. The way I can judge unbelievable is that the kids, when they were coming up that escalator, it was a wow factor. And I was saying, you got the wow factor? And they're like, yes, Mr. G, we do. It was really awesome. A lot of our teachers worked. So that, I think that's, as far as staff morale goes, I think you can tell a lot by the number of teachers that volunteered. I think we had 36 teachers volunteering that night to help out. We had 2,600 kids there. The amazing thing is I only had to make 2 phone calls home for a couple of kids that were not acting the way we wanted to act. And only 2 out of 2,600 is amazing. We're going to make some changes next year. We only had 2 water stations available there. I talked to them, how do you have 2 bartenders serving water for 2,600 kids? We're going to have about 10 next year, so the kids don't have to wait in line. We're also going to make it the sneaker ball, which gives permission to all the girls to wear sneakers instead of the high heels, because they take the high heels, they wear them, they put them in secret corners all around the dance hall, and then they go in the dance floor and dance with their bare feet, and they're getting stepped on, and we're asking for Band-Aids. So we're going to make it the sneaker ball next year, and so that'll sidestep a lot of that stuff. We had multiple senior celebrations in the last couple of weeks. I was at most of them. We had POMs, football, soccer, cheer, volleyball, swimming, band, golf, and tennis, where the parents actually come out and meet with their kids. And I know Mr. Gorder's been through a couple of them. It's really special when your senior gets to get honored. It really is. The dads have their chest puffed out, and the ladies are crying. It's really good. We began periodic morning screenings and hallway scanning initiative. What we do is we have our security guards walking around with scanners, and the kids are in the hall. We call them affectionately our frequent flyers, and we just scan their IDs, and then a message gets sent home. Like, by the way, your son or daughter is in the hallway, and they should be in class right now. Hopefully that's going to help us. At the homecoming game, we had our bus. Mr. McKinney picked up our class of 1959. We had 11 members. We're at the Hyatt in Rosemont. We picked them up. We brought them to the homecoming game. We parked right there, brought them in there. They were honored with the Heroes coin toss. In the beginning, they were in the stands. We have made a couple of announcements about them. They were just livid. They were in tears coming back. All of the cheerleaders put their palms up and they walked through them. It was really nice. And there's a nice little thing at the end. They gave us a check for $1,000. So that's always nice. A couple of historic events at Taft. We had our first ever girls football game under the lights. So that was really nice. And the girls were getting their names called by our announcer. Mr. Cohen was there. And so that was really special for them. We had our first ever food truck fest. Notice how I changed it from Food Truck Friday to Food Truck Fest. After school during our C-Bell. But it turns out it's becoming really hard to have the food truck Fridays because we can't get a lot of the food trucks to commit to like 9:30 to like 3. That's a long time for them to be there. I don't think they have enough food that could actually sustain them for that amount of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change course in the middle of the road. We're gonna have it on seatbelts. So every time we have a seatbelt, we're gonna have the food trucks out there because it actually works out well, because we ask a lot of our kids to leave the campus. And this way, the food trucks are gonna be right out here. And we had some good ones like Harold's and some taco trucks and some ice cream trucks. So after school from 2 o'clock to about 4:30, the food trucks will be out there for the kids that we ask to leave while we're having meetings. They're gonna be out there. So we're gonna have those on our seatbelts. Our next one's October 26th. We'll probably have one in November. After that, we probably won't have it because it's probably gonna be too cold. And then we'll probably reestablish it again in March. But instead of having the Fridays, which they would have only gotten about 4 or 5 more, I would imagine since we have 14 seatbelts, we've used a couple already, they're probably gonna get maybe 8 or 9 more of them. So we're gonna shift gear on that. We secured a prom location, the Hyatt Regency at Rosemont. It's 526. I'm really ecstatic that our prom is now in May, like the rest of the universe. It's gonna be 7 to 10. We secured a graduation site, the UIC Pavilion, Sunday, 5/28, noon to 2:30. That's at the UIC. So we shouldn't have problems with tickets anymore. So we again met with Dr. I met with Dr. Lamone at the beginning of the year. We just talked about how things are going and everything. We have the PSAT exam tomorrow, as you know. Ms. Greenblatt, Mr. Flores has been working really hard. It's like the Normandy landing in World War, as far as like trying to get to all this stuff going, but they do it every year. And the best thing I could say about it is I don't worry about it. If Ms. Greenblatt, Mr. Flores are handling it, I don't worry about it. It's going to be unbelievable. We had OSE provide 1 additional EL teacher. I did talk to you about how we had 60 Ukrainian families come to school, and we had the bus load of kids from Texas that showed up in Chicago that were sent to Burr Ridge, I believe. We got about 10 of those kids. I think some were from Venezuela. We got some of those kids, so about 70 of them. So they gave us 1 additional EL teacher, and then they gave us 4.2s. A 0.2 is an overtime for our teachers to teach those classes. So instead of 5, they're going to teach 6. So they're kind of taking care of us there. We also hired 2 new security guards and a conflict resolution specialist. We still need 3 more security guards. We are interviewing currently, and 1 more conflict resolution specialist. We did start something. I didn't put it on this, but we started a thing called Respect, which is what I'm asking is that when Mr. Mihailov came to me and we were brainstorming, we have those refugee families that right now are lost. I mean, they're coming here and everything like that. So I put it out in the weekly bulletin to our families, and right now I have 52 families that have volunteered to kind of adopt a family of their own. Now we still have to, I had to figure out the language constraint and how we're going to do that. But really what I'm asking of the families, and they can go above and beyond this if they want, but I'm asking if you can kind of take care of the families over Thanksgiving. I don't know if you want to bring them a turkey or whatever you want to do. If you want to give them gift certificates to Boston Market or whatever you want to do, make sure they have a really good warm meal on Thanksgiving. And then also for Christmas too, maybe find out what the kids want for Christmas and take care of them and kind of adopt them. And so right now, 52 families are going to help us. I'm really looking forward to that. I just got to figure out logistically how we're going to do that, but it will happen because Taft is a giving school, and we will take care of those families. That's probably going to be one of the best things we do all year as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking forward to that. And then our next meeting is the LSC meeting at the varsity campus. Or I'm sorry, is it freshman?
I think it's the freshman campus.
My fault, yeah. So December is at the freshman campus. My fault on that one.
I just wanted to ask about the refugee families. I know you would send out an email. I can't remember what your goal was. I know you just said now 52. Did we reach our goal, or were there more families?
We did. We reached our goal, but
Oh, good.
what I'm asking for is if we have 70, then a couple people tag team and then say, you're going to get turkey and all this other stuff, okay? So I think it's going to be good. I know, you know it's going to be good. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that.
I have something to add to that.
You can.
I've been in a few meetings with regarding the whole refugee situation and resources available to them. And there's a lot of agencies that are also doing the same thing,
Okay,
adopting them. So you may,
we will.
so
Yeah.
just so you know that they may already have a turkey and be adopted by a family.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
So, yeah.
Just so you know.
I'm also going to reach out to some of the Ukrainian churches in the city and see if maybe they can provide buses that can maybe meet them somewhere. If it's here, the local spot, I don't know. We're going to try to do that too. So
Yeah, and if I could help, I work for an agency and we may have a few turkeys to give away.
Okay.
and hams.
okay,
So if you'd like to email me,
Yes.
if you need something, if you have some families that are not receiving
Okay.
anything, perhaps I can.
can you
help.
email me in the morning and
Yes,
we'll
I
talk?
can.
Excellent. I love that. Okay, let's go over the budgets if there's no more questions on that. Budgets real quick. We have some expenditures over $10,000 that I need approval for. First one is $39,493.85. That's cap and gowns from the class of 2022. It's always paid after we get it because a lot of times they have to count how many gowns we use, how many were returned, any damage or anything. So it's always a bill that we pay past due. Next one we have is the marquee rentals, $10,770. Ms. Greenblatt, I'm gonna put you on the spot. How many kids are testing tomorrow total?
Around 3,000.
3,200. So those are the tables for those 3,200. We're going to have different spots, but we need new tables. Compass Transportation, we got one for $21,000, one for $28,000. $28,000 is for September. $21,000 is for a lot of the receipts from last year, or the ones that we did not pay that kind of fell through the cracks. The reason why they fell through the cracks, we were going through a transition. We went from Mr. Madden to where Ryan was the only one running it, and he was being an AP, and so it's not anybody's fault. It's just the transition between athletic directors. So we went from Mr. Madden to Mr. Glowitz to Mr. Kessler, and so we had some time in between, so we had to consolidate all those. So that's $21,000. What is important is that we've shored up everything, so we're not going to have any more of these straggling bus things out there that we had. And that's for school expenditures. And of course, the book transfers are to pay for those. And then the last one is for $85,000, and that's the money that they gave us for the .2s, which are 4.2s, about $20,000 each, to pay for our teachers for the overtime. So we have to budget, and then we have to move that into lines to pay our teachers. Any questions on the budget transfers? All right, that's it. Quick and easy.
Mr. Flegman,
Yes.
Ms. Butcher,
Yes.
Ms. Carone,
Yes.
Ms. Cobb,
Yes.
and Mr. Christopher.
Yes.
Bridget is back.
Should be back.
Ms. Doherty Treving, we're voting on the motion to approve the budget and book transfers as presented.
Yes. Sorry, I'm having connection issues.
Not a
So are
problem.
we.
Is that a yes? Is that a yes vote?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. Motion carries.
All right. So the chair report, or did you have any in the CIWP?
No.
Okay.
Did you have anything to say? No, we're in test mode right
All right. It was brought to my attention that our next scheduled meeting is for November 8th, which is a holiday. And so it was brought up that maybe we should change that and maybe do it a week later. But we have to vote on it because we're changing the regular schedule. So is anyone opposed to doing it a week later on November 15th?
We'll just see what we got going.
Check about the Ellis, the whole thing.
Everything was clear on our end. Nothing's going on.
Okay. Yeah, and I'd expect all of the meetings.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to motion to adjust our regular meeting schedule and have the November meeting on November 15th. Who seconded?
I did.
Okay, Alex?
Okay, here we go. Who's in for November 15th? Barron is a yes. Connolly,
Yes.
Davila,
Yes.
Mr. Border,
Yes.
Ms. Baloo,
Yes.
Ms. Doherty Treving,
Yes.
Ms. Pyle, Mr. Fleckner,
Yes.
Ms. Butcher,
Yes.
Ms. Carone,
Yes.
Ms. Cobb,
Yes.
Mr. Grishaber.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so down to the committee chairs. Budget committee, do we have anything to share?
No.
All right. The PPLC,
We didn't, not have a PPLC meeting this month. We continue to work on recommendations. We'll be having a meeting very soon. But I'm always open to questions in it.
okay. Facilities committee,
What have we got? No, nothing really, no. We just met this morning for the first time, for the state to them, so I'll have something prepared next month.
Yeah, the pool, real quick, the pool was fixed
Yeah.
and it won't happen again because we figured the leak was upstairs. We finally found that. So the pool will be fine. It is fine and it won't get messed up again. And then, the other thing is the intercom is getting fixed for everybody in here. So those are the two big ones.
all
I
right,
also hired another full-time custodian
Right.
during the day.
Yeah, so we're up to 4 right
Five,
now.
I think.
4, yeah.
4.
all right, thank you.
I did notice floors on the second floor here at this campus are pretty dirty, so
Right, that's our
talk
goal.
to our people about that.
Yeah, and so if you can just tell the staff, whenever they see something, if your garbage can's not emptied that day, let us know.
I will.
Yeah, because that's how we get it fixed.
I'll do that.
Even, and they're not being a pain when they do it every day for a week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
The bilingual advisory council,
No, she's not here.
safety and security.
Okay, I just added a little thing on the, because I guess the meeting today is 3:15. So I don't get the agenda until today, so I added it in the end of your packet. I'll just try to, you have that, so I'll just try to highlight a few things that are on here. So the SOAR initiative for Tier 1, which is all students, seems to be going really well. The phone trees seems to be going well. The issues that were having a lot of those issues last year with the cell phones, we're not seeing this year in general. We do, we have opened up, I think previously having a full security team was 10 officers here and 6 at the freshman academy, and now we've opened it up to hiring about 5 more, which we're in the process of. Let's see. We're so and Mr. G talked a little bit about some of these things, but we had that first meeting with the Office of Social and Emotional Learning on the 27th. That seemed to go really well. There were a lot of questions and discussion, and so based on that, there's a refresher meeting that's going to happen for all staff on October 21st. On October 18th, the same meeting that happened on the 27th is going to happen for the 10th grade staff. And once all that's done, early November, the same meeting that happened for those other students will happen for the 9th graders at the freshman academy. I'm not sure, Mr. G, do you know that this includes the 7th and 8th grade academic center teachers?
Yes,
Yeah,
it'll
okay.
include everybody.
I meant to ask, I didn't. Okay, and then we are also still in the process of getting all of our deans. We have, people in the process of being hired, but we have some people starting soon. Ms. Zilch and Mr. Markins are both going to be at the varsity campus. And there's some links and stuff, and so I'll forward this again to Paul, and he can send it on to everybody else if you want to click on the link that you can see highlighted in there. And if anybody has any questions, I don't know if I can answer. All right, if I can't answer, Mr. G.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
The student voice committee. Ms. Pyle?
Yeah, I'll just like see both in my whole report. So I just wanted to mention that homecoming went really well, just to reiterate what Mr. G said. It was pretty fun, lots of jumping up and down. Definitely worth the 10,000 or how much it cost. The food trucks, those are pretty good too. A lot of people said that they were really excited. They wish that they could have it more often, but you know, the whole food truck business. There's a lot of new clubs starting up soon, like the Cosmetology Club, the Black Student Community just started last week, Friday, the college club that was mentioned by the AFID coordinator, and the tutoring club, the tutoring center that's run by other students, which is pretty good. A lot of students were looking forward to that because, you know, we all struggle sometimes. For the SBC, we met with the course coordinator because a lot of us were saying that a lot of times when we're picking our classes, we're not really sure what the class entails. So it would be nice to have a course description. And she basically explained to us how the process works, and she took some of our suggestions. And I understand that there's supposed to be a student suggestion spot in the staff email coming out soon. So looking forward to see that happening so that teachers can get our input, see what they can do better to help us out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Great, thanks, Princess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under old business, Friends of Taft.
Oh, can I talked to Mr. I didn't know if you were gonna talk to Mr. Kessler.
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you wanna give a report or?
Same thing.
He gave me, he gave this to me, so thank you, Mr. Kessler. He says, it's been a busy fall at Taft High School, one that has brought much success. The volleyball, flag football, soccer, and 16-inch softball teams all won conference championships. The soccer and flag football teams play tonight to advance in their respective city tournaments. The volleyball team will begin their playoffs tomorrow. As postseason play begins for fall sports, winter sports are approaching quickly. Registration information for winter sports will be released later this week. Go Eagles. Thank you, Mr. Kessler.
And soccer is playing tonight at 7:30 at the stadium if you want to go out there and support it. I know some of us are
Excellent.
going out there.
And freshman football won.
And what was the score? And it's a small.
I think it was like 26-16.
Yeah, the girls flag football is also playing tonight in the semifinals. And then our volleyball team, girls volleyball team is undefeated. So let's put that out. And our girls rugby team just won 2 in a row. So.
Excellent. All right, old business. Are still talking about the shuttles?
I know that last time we had kind of talked about extracurricular shuttling for TFA kids, and you had mentioned like looking into it,
Yeah,
but you know, not a lot of, it's a financial constraint. So if there's any update.
Yeah, there is. And so I did talk to Mr. Kessler on it. So a couple of times when it did get kind of out of hand, it was kind of an anomaly when we were asking all the freshmen to go over to the campus. And we weren't prepared for that. Right now, what we're doing is we're looking into staff members over at the freshman academy who have off 8th period. If we can get them to help us monitor the shuttles so that they can actually check who's going on the shuttle at all times. What's happening, what I'm told, is some kids that aren't necessarily supposed to use the shuttle are getting on the shuttle because it's a little easier getting home when they do that. So we're gonna, it should be used for what's intended. So I talked to Mr. Kessler. He doesn't think at this time we need another shuttle, that we think if we just monitor and kind of obey the rules and get people to monitor it, everything will be fine. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, if you could factor in, like, so this didn't happen this year, this was from last year, but it's something that, depending on the situation, could arise again. My child was a varsity athlete at the freshman academy, and so there was a regular need for her to get over here. It was hard enough, but then when that did get troublesome as far as getting people on the bus and stuff, it became a source of pretty intense aggravation for her.
I got you.
So, so if you could stay on it, that'd be great.
Yeah,
cool.
Especially as like sports wind down, new clubs wind up,
Yeah.
so.
Historically, it's crowded in the fall, dies down in the winter, and then spring it gets really crowded again. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully we get some of them out there. But I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
Can we go back to, Friends or the, Friends of Taft PTSA?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I jumped over that, I'm sorry. So there was a meeting, last week. They're looking into becoming a Friends of Taft versus a PTSA, for a number of reasons. They could keep most of the dues. They would have a board that they would report to. They are currently working on a baseball fundraiser. They would really appreciate your help. It is on November 15th from 5 to 8. It's in the packet. And the other thing I'd like to, it's really important that we support this group of people. Dues are really low and it goes to many, many things. To the teachers, it is food for lunch and, different lunches throughout the year. It is teacher requests. It is, what are some other things they were doing? They buy the flowers for the graduation. They just do so many things behind the scenes. So if we could support them, I think it was $10. That's what I think I paid last year. So if we could all consider becoming members would be great.
There's a link off the website. If you go to Parents PTSA and you go in there and you can buy a $10 subscription. I didn't do it yet. I'm going to do it this week.
I haven't done it yet either, but next meeting is on November 2nd at 6:30 if anyone's interested.
Thank you.
Can I go back to our old business? I
Yeah.
just, Bridget texted me and she just said she didn't understand, the student, the campus shuttles, why they aren't for all students.
Because they're just for our athletes right now to get them back and forth to the campus.
And clubs as well.
And clubs as well, yeah, but not for every student. We don't have the ability to have every student to go on there. We would need probably 4 or 5 of them. We just don't have it. Yeah, that's what they're originally intended to do. Originally CPS had shuttles that they paid for us.
Yeah.
That we had that, and CPS pulled that away from us. They never gave it back to us.
How many shuttles are there a day?
2 going back and forth twice.
It's one bus or 2 different?
It's 2 different buses.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, and that's a contract we have with Compass for the whole year.
Right. So that should be it for old business, new business.
I do have something I have a question about for business.
Yes.
I'm sorry to go back to it, but number 5 on the agenda, to the new LSC staff member. I want to just make the point that whatever we do, we should do according to the rules of CPS LSC. So if we're supposed to do that in closed session and discuss the candidates ourselves, then that's what we should do. If an election is in order and we call for that, then we should do that. I don't think we should go ahead with a staff election until we find out if that's how LSCs are supposed to do it. Otherwise, we should just do it ourselves.
We had,
as we always have in the past.
once we had, I agree with you, and the way the protocol is written by CPS or by the statute is that if there was an elected representative for that position and then that position is vacated, the LSC is supposed to select that person. Now, who from among what group of people the LSC decides has candidates, if the school wants to, like if you have someone you'd like to suggest and encourage them to run, that's something that can
So
happen.
you've received no applications yet?
I have not.
It's supposed to be a clerk though. It's
Okay.
not another teacher. It's a
Right,
clerk.
another teacher.
Well,
Or
it doesn't
another,
need to be
not
Yeah,
a
not,
teacher,
not
it's staff.
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 I mean, and
Yeah,
not.
you're right. It could be a
Not
security
teacher,
guard,
staff.
just not a teacher. Yeah.
But so the way that would happen is that they would let us know that they want to run. We would pick a day where we have to have those in, and then we would have those people come in and deliver to us their message on why they should be here. Hopefully, it will be emailed ahead of time, so we'd have more than just that meeting to review that information. And then at that meeting, we would normally it would just happen at that meeting, go into closed session. If there's more than one person, we can discuss them. Or if there's just one and somebody wants to talk about it, we go into closed session, come out. We would we would discuss it all in closed session, come out and make the official motion and vote on that motion to add that person to the LSC.
Thank you for explaining that process. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
My question is, does the administration have to send that out to the staff?
Yes,
And then do we as an LSC need to just give you a date to have that done by, so we can have them come to the next LSC meeting?
We can do it in our next regular meeting. We can call a special meeting to do it at. I would recommend just doing it at the regular meeting. It's easier to plan for those things.
I just mean like letting non-teacher staff know by what date to submit something, like I don't know, just a submit an email of interest or something, so we know.
if you can find that out, Paul, I've never had anybody that was on and then jumped off, so I don't know the procedure right now. But whatever we need to do, I would say just have your applications in by November 1st, and then we vote. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 5, I don't know, but just then we can vote on November 15th.
Okay,
But,
yeah, this can be done just through regular school communication. We can decide right now that I'll tell you that I'm gonna put it on the agenda at the next meeting for November 15th.
Can you
And-
put your students on the two students?
Okay, we're gonna do the students as well? Okay, so yeah, so, the students were a new addition though, right?
Right, we have 2
Okay.
new students, yeah, so we're gonna put something out to the students to have your applications in by November 1st. I talked to Mr. Flores today.
Okay,
But they get elected, that doesn't have to do with our LSC meetings, they should, you know what I mean, like usually that's administration, like the LSC doesn't.
I'm not sure
anything
if I'm
to do
involved
with
in
it.
it. I'm not sure how that is, because I mean, I don't want to have to sit here and have 5 kids and I can only pick 2 out of the 5. That's a heartbreaker. I don't know how that's done. Because again,
No,
I've never had to add 2 students in the middle of
But
it.
well, isn't it just the same way that we've always just gotten students? Don't you just have like something where because it's on a different, the LSC isn't involved in it. It's the school has students run and then the students vote and then whoever gets the
Okay.
highest vote shows up in the next.
I'll reach
LSC.
out to Mr. Garcia and find out the
Okay.
exact way to do it. But hopefully we can get it done by November 15th.
Yeah.
So it's not, so we have a full LSC.
all right, and then just so everyone knows, I'll send you an email or something just so that we can forward it to the teachers.
Yes,
But the 15th, we will
yes.
host people who would like to be non-teacher members.
Okay.
And we'll have that happen then.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, okay, so that handles the student elections, and then the other new business, I had an item under new business for equity and access and resource for extracurricular activities. It was related to a concern that was shared with regard to club members getting from the freshman academy to the varsity academy. There's also a concern I have more broadly, which has been addressed with the repair to the school or to the pool. But I'd like, the reason I have this on here is that I'd like there to be some conversations with regard to addressing, the pool is fixed, but if there's an opportunity for us to use a larger pool, one that holds more people, one that can help the aquatic athletes train in a way that they're more competitive with other schools, I'd like to investigate those opportunities and see what's out there for us to do. Okay,
Let me know.
all right.
Right now, the only pool that people keep talking about is the Wright Junior College pool, and from what I understand, their pool is worse than our pool. They've actually come to us in the past and asked me to use our pool. So I'm not ruling that out. Maybe they fixed it. I'm not sure, but yeah, I would love an Olympic-sized pool right next to the freshman academy.
Okay.
When I talked to sports administration about that, I said, I got the place. I think it would be a really good place to have an Olympic-sized pool for CPS. I think we should say that every Olympics, we have a CPS swimmer in it. I think that's a really good goal we can have. They said they're building a Olympic-sized pool somewhere in the middle of the city for all of CPS. So it's already underway that they are going to build an Olympic-sized pool. But right now, we all know that the biggest pools are in selected moment schools. We keep winning the state championships. It's an equity thing.
If I want to follow up on the Wright College, because that's the closest
You'll
largest
call
pool
Mr.
now.
Potash. He's the president at Wright, and he'll talk to you. President Potash, and he'll talk to you. He's a friend of Taft. They are Taft South. We send a lot of kids there, so we know this.
All right, thank you. I will follow up with that and then hopefully follow up with you.
Sure.
All right. Okay, public participation. We try to limit this, what?
Can
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
just add it to end of new business, right, because I just had this at the end. I brought it up last meeting, so I gotta ask you to put it on there. This was just the sheet that last year with the APs, we developed, for all families to be able to see. And I mentioned it in the last meeting, but I just wanted to print it out so you guys could all see it. It's under the parent tab. It's also at the end of every Friday email. And if your kid is, even if your kid's not a senior, it's a 4-year overview of what the post-secondary leadership team does in those blocks. And then underneath are suggestions of what parents can do to help with eventually when your student graduates, they need a Learn, Plan, Succeed plan. Whatever it is, work, gap year, military service, apprenticeship, college, they need a plan. And so this is the school, and through the PLT monitors and post-secondary leadership team, they help your students develop over the 4 years, this plan. And so I just think it's really helpful for families to be able to understand how that works and how they can help. This is like after the classroom, this is like the next kind of like big thing that the school does for the students and preparing their kids for graduation and after graduation. So I just wanted to print it out so you guys could see it, because I think all the parents should see it.
And I'll include it on the emails. I'm sorry about
No,
that.
no, that's okay. I just asked you that today. I just thought of it.
I will add this real quick. I didn't mention it in my report because I just remembered it, but we do have open houses at the Freshman Academy the next 3 Thursdays, starting this Thursday and the following 2 Thursdays. So it's going to be an actual, you come to the campus and walk around. So it'll be on campus next 3 Thursdays. So it's on our website.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question regarding the pool. Is there a swimming class there?
No, I don't think there'll ever be another swimming class.
We had them a long time ago.
We had them before COVID and before cell phones. Right now,
The coordination.
yeah, I can't see us ever having a swimming class again. I just don't. CPS, we offer aquatics. No one ever signs up for it. But also CPS doesn't mandate it anymore that we have swimming class. Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Just to clarify, the next LSC meeting date is November 15th, at the TFA location.
TFA, yes.
That did not change.
No.
Okay.
And I take it all of our other meetings will be there as well?
That would be my
Okay,
expectation.
so everybody knows. Okay, I'll be there 3 o'clock.
All right. Anything else before we move on to public comment? Okay. Public comment. We try to have everyone stay to 2 minutes, please.
Did they sign up?
Oh, is there a sign up?
I'll ask anyone who wants to participate just to come up and write your name. Just for the record. Thank you, Ms.
Sorry.
I see it on paper. This is Conley, and I'm currently leading not dead horse, but one that has been discussed a lot today. I am the mother of a swimmer and a scholar here at Taft, and I just wanted to be stated on the record here at the LSC meeting that the girls swim team had been without a swimming pool for 2 weeks during the middle of their season. I wanted to bring, I had a plan, but you guys addressed a lot of the things that I talked about here. But I wanted you to know that the swimmers are highly competitive swimmers and doing really well. We have 2 swimmers on our team that are actually preparing for like collegiate level swimming, but also are going to be qualifying for state. On the other side, with regards to swimming lessons and programs, we had swimmers that are swimmers on your swim team that are actually joining the swim team and learning to swim for the first time and doing really well. Some of the girls have never swam before and are competing and winning in competitions. Just like the competition last weekend at Healing, when they won their relay invitational and got first place. Most of the races they did really well. And one of the things that they struggle with as swimmers and water polo players, both male and female, is the size of Taft's pool is the size of a hotel pool pretty much. It's 5 yards shorter in distance and it's 2 lanes shorter in width. And it doesn't really allow for them to fully practice for water polo or for swimming. They swim 10 yards less or 20 yards less every time they swim, depending on the length. And so, but kids are coming here, like what I really want to push is that kids are coming to Taft not because it's their only option or because they have to be here because it's their neighborhood school. My daughter only applied to Taft, and many of her classmates did as well. So students are coming here because they want to be here, not because they have to be here, as the rumors have been in the past. Whereas the my daughter's first experience at a football game was against Lane Tech, and the other team was chanting Lane Tech rejects, stating that the kids on the other kids that are here were not accepted into Lane, and that's not the case. And so I just feel like and then when they go to the swim meets, they're also they're competing at Whitney Young and Jones and all these selective enrollment schools that have full access to full size pools and are doing really well. And the swimmers are competitive with them, even though we have limited here. And so I think that a conversation about not just the swim team, but other sports teams, like the dancers having to practice in the hallway, or the cheerleaders not having the right dance space or the mats or equipment. There are other teams that are competing at high levels, and they should be afforded the access to the equipment and the space and the time that they need. And so we can maybe when the Friends of Taft is established, then looking at to finding other opportunities, because even in this community here, there are a large number of former St. Pat swimmers who have children that will be coming here one day, and former lifeguards who live in the neighborhood, and there's really limited access to pools here in this community, aside from Norwood Park or Jefferson Park, which are all outdoor pools. And your students are losing opportunities for lifeguarding and just aquatic experiences that other children across the state have access to. So if we can continue to have the conversation about finding space for kids to swim, and maybe even reconsider an option for kids learning how to swim in school or after school, where they don't have to have cell phones during, it would be an opportunity for more kids to swim. That's all.
Ms. Conley, I'd like to comment on that because you're speaking right in the language right now, because it's been my passion since I've been here for 9 years to try to get us a bigger pool. We've had CPS come out here and try to say, okay, what can we do to this pool? We're going to try to make it bigger, like take out the one boys locker room and make it longer and stuff like that. They said we couldn't do that because they had the load bearing walls. So what they actually suggested for us to do is, where the driver's ed parking lot is, and there's that ledge of grass. They said that could be a pool, and then we would use our pool as a wading pool. So we could draw up those plans, but then we got the freshman academy. And what I was thinking is we've got the spot for the freshman. This is a perfect place for a pool. So I did push it. So I want you to know it's a passion of mine, because I really am adamant about why do select enrollment schools only have the biggest pools, and they win first through fourth every year in it. So I do agree with you. And so it is passionate of me to try to get a bigger pool, but let you know, it's on our radar. So, but I was assured by sports administration, they're making an Olympic sized pool. So I'm like, but I got the space. And we need it in this thing. If you're not going to do that, then give me a hockey rink, because then we don't have to share with that other school anymore. So yeah. And Lane Tech rejects, yeah, that was the year that we beat them 3 years in a row in football. So I'll let you give you yeah, because that was I gotta be honest with you, and that fired me up, because I was at that game, and I told the deans were right there on the other side with them, and they were not doing anything. And my kids started this what do they do, LTK thing, and I nipped it right away, and my people just nipped it in the bud. Our kids don't play that game anymore, so I just feel good about it. We're not gonna do what other people do. We're not gonna bite into that. Our kids are sportsmen. We believe in that stuff, but I think that was low too. So that's why I think I'm at the best school. So I'll just pass with that.
Mr. Gershon,
Yes.
Pool in the center of the city. We wouldn't be able to practice in it. It would just be used.
No, but it would be for the state, for championships and stuff
For
like
things
that.
like
So
that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but we'll keep looking. Okay.
What's the chances of doing some?
Slim to none right now, what I was told.
Who
But-
are the
but-
people you have to talk to?
Years ago,
Sports administration, Dave Rosenthal.
we thought we'd never have a football stadium.
And she
And
knows.
it's here, and we have lights, and we
Yeah.
have, so I think anything's possible.
Don't put it past
Your
you.
number will go-
Dave Rosengard, sports administration, said, we want a pool on the freshman academy. You can contact him. Rosengard.
Did they give you anything number?
No, but I would imagine it's probably gonna be 20 million or something like that. But again, it could service all the schools on the northwest side here, you know? So, I mean, people can go to Whitney Young, they can go to North Tech, but there's nothing up here. Again, we got a pool and I don't know, Valerie Bertinelli has a bigger pool in her house than we got in my school. So that's an old reference there, I'm sorry.
One name.
So you don't have to know to swim to join the swim. Team.
No.
There you don't, you can track, and it's more of a coaching question, but there are 2 swimmers that are now sophomores that learned how to swim last year and are doing really well, especially in water. They're really confident and impressive. It's really neat to see.
And I'll end with this. When I went to the swim meet, the 2 girls that you're talking about that are competing for college scholarships, oh my God, it's unbelievable. They're like doing twice what everybody else is doing. We're like, what's with that person? So they're doing a really good job.
Are there any other public?
All right, any other comments? Then I will move to adjourn with our next meeting taking place November 15th at the Taft Freshman Academy.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Barron, yes. Connolly.
Yes.
Sevilla. Yes. Gorder.
Yes.
Baloo. Jordy Krabby.
Yes.
Ms. Pyle. Mr. Flegner.
I abstain.
Okay, I noted on the record, Ms. Becher,
Yes.
Ms. Carone, Ms. Cobb,
Yes.
Mr. Grishaber.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Does Mr. Punter have to stay here now?
Yes, it does. He gets excluded here tonight.
Okay.
I'll set up all the tables.
Yeah, you take care. Bananas. See, Jonah had to come.
Really
Cool.
fast to me, like 10 in the morning, like that.
So.
Whatever you want.
Oh, I don't care. No,